She used to be an actress.
She ever do anything I saw?
I think her biggest deal was she starred in a pilot.
What's a pilot?
Well, you know the show's on TV?
I don't watch TV.
Yes, but you are aware that there is an invention called television, and on that invention they show shows.
Yeah.
Well, the way they pick shows on TV is they make one show, and that show is called a pilot. And they show that one show to the people who pick the shows, and on the strength of that one show, they decide if they want to make more shows. Some get accepted and become TV programs. Some don't, become nothing. She started one of the ones that became nothing.
Welcome to College Pilots. All of you are my friends. It's the show that dares to fly into the unknown territory of awful television pilots of the past. My name is Jason, and with me is my Cosmo Kramer. It's Captain Philip Ressisher. Good evening.
I'm so glad you called me Kramer. I was so worried that you were going to call me George, and I was going to have to throw everything in my capabilities at you.
You're really more of a Newman, I think.
Ooh, that's not good. That's not good.
That means a dinosaur kills you on what's that? What's that island? Isla. I don't know. Damn, I wish I had that reference. Fuck me.
Yeah, fuck you.
Fuck me right.
Speaking of fucking...
Fuck me right. You fuck me right. It's so good when we have a guest here that we can swear around, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, what's shaking, you piece of bacon?
Well, there's a lot of times you don't answer my emails, you don't answer my voicemails.
Sure.
You don't respond to my text messages.
I'm barely listening now.
But as many of the listeners know, we've had some legal trouble with DSJ.
This comes up every second or third episode because our fucking judicial system is so slow and tenuous and just like, let's get to the point, right?
Right.
And I know we got a date coming up here, but I'm hoping, and I think you are too, is what you're getting at, is we can try to get ahead of this thing, get some resolution maybe today.
Sure. We'll see. Our lawyers talked to DSJ's lawyers.
For the uninitiated, DSJ stands for Down Syndrome John. He's our tarmac worker.
Sure.
Some people say...
Many years he's...
One person wrote to me and said he's a tarmac worker.
Oh,
I said that's not right.
That's disgusting.
That's not something you'd say to a fella.
No, for sure.
But he works on our tarmac, and...
he waves the golden cones.
Yeah, out on the runway.
He gets us up and down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he gets us up, which is something I do, right?
I do everything in the middle.
And then I take us right back down.
Right, but he helps you get it up.
Absolutely. Those golden cones.
He's kind of like your fluffer.
What did you just say? What did you say to me? Say that again.
I said DSJ is kind of like your fluffer.
I know what that means. Okay? Don't think you're being clever. I know what that means.
That was, you know what? In the 4 years we've been doing it, I really think that's one of my best lines ever.
How's that drink?
What drink?
Mm-hmm. That drink you drink. that orangey drink.
It's all right.
DSJ, we usually don't let him on the plane. He comes on sporadically. Nary says a word.
I think he's only talked one time on...
No, like 2 or 3 since episode 200.
That's true.
We've called him a few times.
Oh, that's true.
What was the lawsuit about? Refreshing all the listener, please.
Well, he was saying that we were discriminating against him because we were saying he had Down syndrome, but he was saying that he didn't. And
then he revealed his name. His last name is Malnati, the heir to the pizza kingdom that from the Chicago area. I didn't know all
this. Where'd you hear that part?
From him.
Oh.
He said it on the show.
Oh.
You got to stop drinking so much on the show, I think.
No, actually, I think I'm doing really good tonight. I'm really to be honest with you.
But tonight, out of over 100 tape recording sessions together, right?
Well, it was going to be sober February, but did
you say silver February? Is that what you just said?
It's our silver anniversary.
And happy anniversary to you. Can we bring DSJ on? Is he around?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, he was back wiping tables.
He's doing the back wipe. Okay, let's bring him on. I'll go get him. Will you tell one of your sexual escapades while I go get him?
Sure.
All right, let me go.
There's been quite a few times where...
Can't do it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said to the lady, I can't do it. DSJ, do you know how to...
Come on in here.
What's up?
All right, buddy, have a seat.
Yeah.
Blake said you're down there wiping down tables. What? I know we have this kind of pending lawsuit. I do appreciate you coming to work still.
Well,
Well,
got to put food on the table somehow.
You got the skills to pay the bills.
Some would say that.
You've been off work for quite a few months because of this, and and I want to say first of all, thank you for your years of service.
Appreciate it.
But second of all, I want to thank you for thinking with a level head and doing the right thing by dropping this lawsuit.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, you see, how I see it is, you guys are harmless for the most part.
Right.
I didn't think that it was going to go to court in the first place, but what ended up happening was, I just, as long as I get a paycheck, then we're square.
Sure, and we've always given you a paycheck.
That's correct.
And just because you have Down syndrome doesn't mean we're not going to pay you.
See, that's the thing is, I don't have Down syndrome, but I have submitted to the fact that I do in your eyes. So therefore, as far as you're concerned, I do.
He keeps saying that.
I know.
He's a jokester.
I don't.
Funny jokes. That's all it is.
I mean, DSJ. I mean, like I said, you've already signed the papers. Everything.
He's just John. You just call me John to my face. I don't care if you reference me. DSJ. You can just call me John to my face, please, if you would.
It sounds
weird. It's not that big of a request, really.
It's not.
John Melnati, okay?
All right. I'm not going to say that last name.
So,
John.
What, you got a problem with the pizza?
No, I love the pizza. Okay. It's a different.
So is that? I mean, I didn't read. I read all the transcripts and everything, and the.
He loves trans. I don't know if you know that about him.
Good for you. Daisy Taylor, I heard she's a good one.
He's big into trans. Daisy Taylor?
Daisy Taylor.
Correct. We should talk about that next week.
Yeah. Get more into it, probably.
Anyway, I didn't see anything in regards to the fact that, by you agreeing to come back to work, that we would have to just call you John. I mean, you're DSJ. You're Down syndrome. You have Down syndrome, and so.
Yeah, cool. I think we should cool it with that. He's going to be upset.
Listen, I don't call you Autism Blake, okay?
Oh, that's a good point. That's a pretty good point.
So,
are you calling me atypical?
I think that some would say, scratch that, most would say that you may be on some sort of spectrum.
Oh, do me next. What don't you call me?
Well, I would just call you Horny Jason.
That's fair.
But I don't do that.
Thank you.
So,
and Blake, I don't call you Autism Blake. So you can just call me John when I'm... Hey, you want to call me what you want to call me when I'm not here.
So we
can, whatever you want to call me.
When you're not around, we can call you DSG on the podcast?
You can, yes.
So,
yes.
But John to your face.
That's what I would prefer. Any dignified human would agree with me.
And not to leave the subject, but, one of the things that when this lawsuit thing was happening, we were very concerned about DSJJR.
Correct.
How is DSJJR?
He's doing good. He's, just your run-of-the-mill little kid. Definitely does not have Down syndrome, as I do not. So, yeah, he's...
Is he, walking and talking and stuff?
He's a regular walking, talking Stephen Hawking.
Oh, nice.
So he's in a wheelchair.
He discovered a black hole?
That's a little bit of a, the jokes are rubbing off on me from you guys. It was a joke.
They're funny, though, right, DSJ?
I must admit, most of your content is hilarious.
Thank you for admitting
Do you
that.
like the banter part or when we review a pilot?
Honestly, the banter part and the pilot part are both good parts.
Yeah,
I don't think that you should lose.
Shit.
One of the things that I've noticed, though, is since you've been on your hiatus, since you've been gone, the download numbers have drastically decreased.
Okay. Well, you guys had mentioned in passing in the lounge when I saw you guys just when I was cleaning tables.
You're mopping.
That you have some sort of contest going on, right? Is this a contest? Or something?
This is a special season of Couch Pilots.
Yeah.
I think he's referring to, right?
Now, whose episode is this? Who? The downloads is what you're measuring. Blah blah blah. Whose episode is this?
10 episode seasons. We're talking about television programs that did make it. I'm doing all the odd number ones. This is an odd number one. This is episode 217.
Okay.
I picked this week's episode. It's the pilot episode of arguably the greatest sitcom of all time. You know what? I never respond to your shit like that.
No.
I never respond to your fucking...
you have.
No,
you
no.
have-
I question why a grown man would watch Rugrats.
Rugrats is a good show.
Okay, and, I'm not denying that. I'm just under
I still watch it regularly.
I picked Seinfeld this week. Okay,
Seinfeld. Well, congratulations, you're going to win because I'm on this episode. You're welcome. Like you had said, I can boost it up. I do have the Malnati name in my favor.
if we just call you John going forward, can we just leave this whole mess of a lawsuit behind us?
You know what? I'm glad to leave it behind us, and we shall never speak of it again.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
Well,
I got to finish cleaning these tables.
we're in.
Yeah.
And also, I'm sorry, but I know it's only your second day back.
It's okay.
But in the pilot's lounge, I was doing some dirty beers and kind of threw up.
Okay.
And so I was wondering if, I hate to ask you, second day back and everything.
It's my job. It's my job.
Thanks.
Okay? So, thank you for giving me the heads up instead of me finding it serendipitously.
you know that 1996 Corvette calendar you have in your closet?
Correct.
Expect a new calendar coming in there. We're gonna get you a new calendar.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
It's kind of our way of like breaking bread again.
Yeah, we appreciate that very
Love
much.
that show.
Well,
Walter White.
love Breaking Bread.
That's the show, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Heisenhower.
He's a yeast dealer.
Heisenhower, right? Heisen.
Love Heisenhower.
Eisenhower.
We'll have our lawyers get in touch with yours. I really appreciate you coming on here and talking to us like a man.
Appreciate you guys having me.
1-on-2, I guess.
No, thank you. I'm gonna. You know what? There's the baggage boy was out there. He was just kind of sitting there doing nothing.
Yeah, light a
did
fire
you want
under
him to? Did you want him to get your bags or what? What did you
Yeah,
want
load him up because this is going to be a long flight.
Okay. I'll go grab him. I'm going to finish that and get your dirty beers cleaned up.
That'll be fine.
Thanks,
And
buddy.
but thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks,
yeah, let's
DSJ.
let bygones be bygones.
John,
and
call him John.
yeah, it's cool if you. I mean, hey, I'm on my way out, so I understand the mix up. But yeah,
Call
just John in
him
my
John.
face.
Call him John.
So if he's not in the plane, we can say it?
Just call him John.
As
Just call
much
him
as
John.
you want.
We'll talk later. Just call him
All
John
right.
right now.
All right.
Thanks, John.
We'll see you guys later.
Bye, John.
Thanks,
Peace out.
DSJ.
Whew. Well, hopefully he's good to his word. Hopefully he's good to his word, huh?
I hope so. I mean,
I think he will.
We had a really great relationship going, and I worry that I just hope nothing changes between the four of us.
Are we going to have to call him John going forward?
No, I'm calling him DSJ.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to call him.
He obviously. Did you hear him talk? He has Down syndrome.
Yeah. I've never
very
heard.
odd.
I've never heard someone without Down syndrome talk like that. Do we have any fan feedback, as it were?
Yeah, we do have some fan feedback. I think we have an actual voicemail.
Okay. Do you need this cord or not?
No.
You're over it.
Yeah,
So,
I don't need the cord. I know where my speaker is.
So,
It's funny because when I'm going to look at it, I have to look at all these emails from YouTube
right.
about a copyright claim.
What's
every
that?
episode. No, almost every episode.
Is it from the Wings theme song that we use?
This is from Dukes of Hazzard, the pilot. Hey, Couch Pilots podcast. A copyright owner using content ID claimed some material in your video. This is not a copyright strike. These claims do not affect your account status.
So why get an update? Why get an email from him? And I will go on to say that that email does not come from a fan, and this, in fact, is the part of the show that is fan feedback. So
Okay.
why are we receiving that?
Well, because we're obviously somehow messing with it.
I bet they're a fan. I bet that's what it is. I bet they're just a fan.
All right, let's see if I can play this.
All right. The speaker is not there, right? The speaker's at the bottom of the phone, isn't it?
No, it's up top.
Okay.
Hi guys, John Malnati here.
Is it? Turn it around.
For a Christmas bonus.
Hold on.
Hi guys, John Malnati here. I know that you said that you were going to give me some sort of Christmas bonus. The Christmas season. You know I'm Jewish, but you decided that you wanted to give me a Christmas bonus, so.
I thought he was Italian.
Been a few months now. Still waiting on that. Yeah, I guess that's all I wanted to say. Could use some cash right now. So, Yeah, give me a call back. It's John Malnati. All right, see you. Bye.
Did we give him any kind of Christmas bonus?
Well, no, because at the time he wasn't working, and we were
pending litigation.
We were
too.
pending litigation. So I mean, you know what? Let's write him a check when we get done.
What do you think is a good amount?
$13.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's fine.
$13 for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captains have turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
Had he ever called himself John Malnati before that voicemail?
Yeah, you have a drinking problem, and you don't remember when we record, and he said that here before several times, and then you don't go back and listen to the programs.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, no, he has.
I just wanted to make sure.
Do you want to bring the baggage boy on
Oh,
before we take off?
yeah, because I had some questions about my luggage that I had.
All right, go ahead.
Hey, baggage boy number 2, can you come up out here in the cockpit?
He has a name. I think that it's Lucas, or it begins with an L at least.
Hello, my name is Lucas. I am the baggage boy.
Do 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 do. Susan Vega.
It's a different song you're singing.
Oh, that's not the same one.
But
That's
nope.
not the same one. Oh,
No.
okay.
Lucas, hey, are you there?
I am here.
Hey,
How's it going?
hey, did you see that bag that coach bag I had?
Yeah. Did you see that bag?
Could you just shut your fucking pie hole for
Oh,
a
I'm
minute?
trying to help. Okay, I'll back off. I'm sorry. Hold on a second.
Did you see that coach bag that I had? It had the little
Yeah,
yellow sticker on it.
Yeah.
You didn't just like throw it. You was you took your time with it.
I gave that one to my trainee, so you know.
That's kind of an important bag. We have to make a stop like in the middle of the show, and to deliver, maybe to drop off some stuff. So is it on the plane?
It's on the plane, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Are you?
Do you know where it's at?
It's in the cargo hold,
Okay. All right. Well.
where bags go.
All right. Just
Are you questioning my professionalism?
no,
sir?
not at all. Not at all. It's just we have kind of a mission. I mean, we have like
We're on
a
a
delivery. We're on a mission, and we're wishing someone can cure our lonely condition.
Hey, you guys ever hear this song before?
That was my wedding song.
Oh, really? Congratulations. When did you get married?
I married depression, I don't know, like 15, 20 years ago.
You married a feeling?
Yeah.
Oh, what a feeling.
Please believe it.
Haven't you ever heard that Smashing Pumpkin lyric, I'm in love with my sadness?
Yeah, I'm in love with my... That's from Zero? The song Zero?
Yes, and so if Billy Corgan can love sadness, I can love depression.
That's true.
Yeah, it's fine. I just didn't know there was a legal document binding you, the two of you.
Look, homosexuals can get married, so I can
It's
marry
the same
a feeling.
thing. It's the same thing.
Isn't
yeah.
that...
If gay guys can get married, why can't you marry an animal or a stalk of celery or a feeling?
I mean, they warned us. They warned us all crazy kinds of things were going to happen if we allowed
That's
it.
right.
That's true.
I heard of a guy who married his PlayStation a while back.
Really?
This fucking music still going?
Yeah, I heard somebody married a car and just all kinds of fucking
Do you
nonsense.
remember we used to talk about that one? It was a guy or a girl that was in love with the
Roller coaster?
roller coaster. It was
That was IBWIP. That was a long time ago.
That's cool.
I'm in love with a stripper.
I love strippers.
Amen
I'm
to
in
that.
love with the roller coaster.
I tell you what, Lucas, this bag that you have in there, why don't you just go ahead and fly with us, and then when we make that stop, can you just like hand it to the guy? After we land, there's going to be a guy out on the tarmac. Can you just hand it to him and then just get back in?
yeah, sounds
Cool.
good. Sounds
Cool,
good.
bro.
Awesome.
Cool,
Thank
bro.
you.
That I on the way here, I saw that Down syndrome fella. He was rather chipper.
Yeah, he's back in it. He's back in it to win it. Just waiting for you to push pause on that.
No, just let it play. It's good. It's a good song. Boy, oh boy. We did something right before we started recording tonight. I think we should talk about it. What is your plans to release this? A couple weeks ago, we had Brian Wolford on, famed Peoria area podcasting legend. I think podcasts. Steve Jobs woke up one morning. He said, "I have an iPod. you can put all your songs on it. Let's have a podcast. And Brian Wolford must have been sleeping right next to that motherfucker because he started one of the first podcasts in the Peoria area, right along with yourself, the Drunken Zombie podcast and network.
Yeah.
We had him on our show. He's been on a couple times, a friend of the show.
Did a great job.
I love him. And it's
We did Dukes of Hazzard.
that's absolutely right. And on that show, during the fan feedback section, you're reading a card from one of our favorite frequent flyers. It's a fellow goes by the name of Chris Tuckley, and he did his own Couch Pilots rendition of the 12 Days of Christmas, in which you sang drunkenly and probably don't even remember doing on the show.
I do remember the fact that I wanted to read it. Mm-hmm. I do remember starting to read it.
Right.
And I do remember some fan feedback specifically.
Well, you can look that up, and I will go into a little bit more detail. We the 12 Days specifically calls out a handful of people on the show that come on a regular basis. One of them being the baggage boy that's here today, Lucas, along with former baggage boy Eli, Hoover Boss, Kemo Slice, co-host of the Karaoke Big E podcast, and of course a perennial all-star in our friend Matthew Phillips. They were all here to record a version of the 12 Days of Couch Pilots that we will maybe have released at the time of this. I don't know.
It's coming out special in a couple of days.
Good. That'll be
fantastic.
fantastic.
It's not gonna be on a Monday. It's gonna be before the next episode. It's gonna be a little bonus.
I think the song's about 5 minutes.
Bonus.
Nis. The song's about 5 minutes long, but we got some extra stuff we're going to throw in there. I think it'll be just a fun, quick little release. It's definitely a big time thank you to Chris Tuckley for giving us, but a lot of fun that we had getting those folks together just to make a little silliness.
Sure, and the conversation between me and Chris went like this. Blake, your performance of the 12 Days of Couch Pilots, there are no words. It was bloody beautiful. Brought a lump to my throat. And I said, ha 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 ha. I actually don't remember singing it. Ha 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 ha. I have to curb my beer consumption on recording nights.
Yeah.
He goes, yes. You got most of the words wrong. Yes, you were slurring most of the words that you did get right.
Right.
But by God, it made me proud to hear the passion in your voice.
Yeah.
And I said, ha ha ha. Glad you liked it, brother.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah, and then I think Dee Dee made a comment as well regarding my inability to be able to talk.
Probably just worried about your general welfare, right?
I was going to say that's even before the alcohol takes hold.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go back.
As an aside, Eli is not the former baggage boy anymore.
Why is that?
In case you don't remember,
We rehired him.
he came on as my trainee. He's on probation.
Yeah, he is on probation still.
That was
We got fired for looking at pornography.
right, and then he came back at CouchCon.
Yeah. So he's kind of back. Well, in a little bit more subdued role. I think we're going to move him over to security. Wasn't that it? Because he knows kung fu now, right?
Oh yeah, he's a brown belt now. Me and Dee Dee talk a lot, so I'm having trouble going back. There's a lot of stuff about fires and burnt kangaroos.
Is there anything about dog police? Today we discussed the pilot episode of Seinfeld from the year of our Lord 1900 plus 89. Great year.
1989. I was 14.
I was, good Lord, how old was I? I
You were
must have
8?
been 8.
I was 5.
Nice. High five that shit.
What's our... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say you're the same age as my sister. You guys are in the same graduating class, so that's how I can figure out my age.
What's your relationship with the Jerry Seinfeld program?
Honestly,
Be honest, please.
when I was a kid, I never watched it on my own, but I watched it a lot with my grandma.
Okay. Grandma liked it, huh?
Yeah,
Well,
That's not necessarily. He's not saying his grandma liked it. He's saying that he watched it with his grandma. She didn't have to like it to watch it.
Oh no, she actually. This is a very rare time I see my grandma laugh at a TV show.
I appreciate you saying that.
Normally, I'm on Blake's side with stuff, but I'm still kind of pissed at him for the Simpson shit.
And thank you. That kind of makes my point. We're doing 10 episodes like we do every season. We're both picking 5. I never shit on your shows. Why are you so down on my stuff?
I've said it before. When we said we'll each pick 5,
Yes.
I had 4 out of 5 before you even called them out, and I knew this was going to be one of them.
That makes no case for what I'm asking for. So what? So you can name 4 out of my 5. So what? What does that have to do
'Cause
with
I
like
know
shitting
you.
on? So what does that have to do with shitting on the ones I picked? You have no reason to do it. You have no reason, do you?
I'm sorry. I have to check this lever.
Yeah, go ahead and check a lever.
I'll tell you what it
Good
is.
God.
You shit on Blake on like
Personal level.
every episode,
Absolutely.
so he finally feels like he has something that he can take digs at,
He doesn't.
and so he's taking the opportunity because he knows you like these things,
Right.
Therefore, you're leaving yourself open.
Thanks,
Right.
thanks, Dan.
Why don't you think he could say that to me just now and you had to do it?
You guys have a tumultuous relationship,
Right,
We,
right.
we know there's communication issues here,
Right.
On his end.
So
Right, on my end.
You know, since Matt's not here, I'm mediating,
Right, right. Yeah.
which is fucking weird because
It is fucking. What you're saying right now, you're saying some fucking weird shit.
that's right.
Okay.
Hey, we're all cool here. We're all friends.
Hey, guys, everyone's cool.
Hey, Lucas, can you take off your headphones for just a second?
What's this about? What are you doing?
Really don't have to do. So, you know that Coach bag that I have in the thing?
The one you kept talking about?
Right. I don't really want to like touch it again.
Is it covered with
before
anthrax?
No. There's stuff in it, and I don't think me or you should be the ones like doing the drop.
Is it double-ended dildos? What's in it?
No, it's just there's stuff in it. I don't want to. I don't want you to know either, but we have to do a drop, and I just want Lucas. So just be cool with Lucas. Don't get piss him off. All right, Lucas, go ahead and put your headphones back on. Thanks, bro.
Whew, yeah, thanks for that.
I thought your ears were getting sweaty. That's why I asked you to do that.
Absolutely.
You're not used to having all the the headset on and radio and control.
Yeah, 'cause
ground
I don't got to
control
wear
stuff.
all that to do bags. I just have a handheld radio.
Do you like playing bags?
Yeah, do you like bags?
Playing the game bags,
Right.
The bean bags.
Oh, cornhole.
Yeah, cornhole is much better when you say cornhole.
It's like a butthole.
I'm bad at it, but yeah, I like playing it. And
You should come out to the Moose on a Wednesday night. You don't have to be a member.
The first time you come as a visitor.
No.
Then a friend.
No,
and then a
Family, but for bags, it's not a Moose. It's like it's not a Moose thing. So you can go anytime you want.
Why have you never told me that? Do you not want me out there for bags?
I don't play bags. That's my bowling arm. I'm not.
How's your bartending going?
It's great. It's great.
so
I
you
love
want
it.
me to come out and play and watch you not play? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying if you like to play bags, this is a cool place to play. They play in the banquet hall. It's like $5 a person.
$5.
Do I look like I have $5 on a baggage boy salary?
He really doesn't.
Just trying to.
I'm glad your bartending's going well.
No, it's fun. I like it. I'm doing pretty good at
Can
it.
you make
Where
it?
are you doing that at?
The Moose.
Can you make an old fashioned?
I made an old fashioned the other day. Somebody had to tell me how to make it, but I made one. I also made it was Seagram 7, half water, half Sprite. I don't know what that was. It was
7 and 7.
no, it had half water, half Sprite, so it was something else, like a continental,
Like a
continental
pussy
No,
drink.
they call it a continental.
Do you know how to make a Daisy Taylor?
No,
No. Okay.
It has half water because they water down their alcohol.
A Daisy Taylor. I'll tell you what it is. It's a vodka, cranberry, and a cocktail wiener.
Sounds delicious.
so
Can I rent out your building and put on shows at the Moose?
yeah, for sure.
We'll talk off air.
All right.
1900 add 89. What an incredible year. Do you ever do a Seinfeld impression?
What's the deal with this pilot?
Yeah. Go ahead and whenever you're ready with the impression.
Listen, Jerry, there's a pilot. We're going to do a pilot, Jerry. Come on. You know what a pilot is, right? It's a show where the people decide we want a show. Come on, Jerry, you know this.
Whenever you want to start with the impression.
Was that Elaine?
Oh, that was a good. Was that Elaine? That was a good Elaine.
I got one more.
Okay, go ahead.
Lead me into it.
Let's do one final impression from Blake on Seinfeld.
Jerry, I'm here for the pilot.
1.21 gigawatts.
Soup Nazi.
It did.
Do you have an impression?
No pilot for you.
Come on, do it.
Look,
do it.
you got a Jerry Seinfeld impression, right?
What's the deal with these airline peanuts?
Right.
They're in a little bag. You can't get the bag open. I don't fucking know.
It ended weak, but started strong.
Yeah, my impression of Jerry Seinfeld is just me being a dick to everybody in the room. And then laughing about it like it's a joke. Fuck that guy.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, here you. Lead me in. Lead me in.
Do you have any more impressions that we could do as it relates to Seinfeld?
This is a 1947 classic coupe from Corvette. Hey, you want to go have some coffee? No, that coffee's not open. How about a bagel? Oh, I'm too rich to eat a bagel.
So whenever you want to start with the impressions is fine.
Will Ferrell, thanks for being on the show. This I thought of you when I saw this car. It's a 1927 Ford Fairlane.
I like how that was a mix between Dusty Rhodes and Gilbert Gottfried. It was very Dusty Rhodes, and then at the end he hits it with
You don't know what hard times are, Daddy.
There you go.
Bicycle. Bicycle, right?
Let's talk about some things that happened in 1989 to put us back in the mind frame of when the television pilot for Seinfeld was released. So let's go back to 1989.
In our minds.
We'll talk about a few things, including February 1st in Australia. Joan Kerner becomes Victoria's first female deputy premier after the resignation of Robert Fordham over the VEDC, the Victorian Economic Development Cooperation Crisis. There you go, Dee Dee. There you go.
What do you guys think of Harry and Meghan leaving the royal family?
Who did I hear something? Prince Edward, or what was that prince that was involved with the weird Jeffrey Epstein shit? They said there was kind of like this. There's like this exodus of the family of some of the royal family, and Meghan Markle is kind of this odd
Half
outcast,
black lady.
and yeah, there's a I think it's. What was that?
That was Outcast.
Oh, okay. I was waiting for the word black lady to come up.
I think good for them.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. They're breaking the mold.
why? I mean, just because he was married into the family, like, why should he have to not do what he wants to do?
Right.
I think it's more about him being pussy whipped, right? Because if they're going to spend their time
In Canada,
in the United States, and she had a career in acting in the United States, I think it's more of. I definitely don't think it's a signifier of the beginning of the end for the royal family, but it's just kind of like, who gives a fuck?
Well,
Who
if you're
fucking
going to be
cares?
around a vagina, would you rather be around the queen's crusty old vagina all the time or your wife's?
nice. You know
Like,
what?
boy, you got me there, buddy.
Plus, they're gonna make more money.
Are they?
They're gonna make a lot more money being on their own.
I don't know. Okay.
No, I know.
Yeah,
I did the numbers.
I don't have. You did the numbers for them?
Look, if you take this number and you multiply it by Canada's currency, they're gonna make more money.
You should be doing all of your budget work in the numbers on an Excel sheet and not a physical piece of paper.
I like to be one with the numbers.
Yeah, go B1
Kenobi.
equal sum times C2.
That joke was lame.
Yeah, it was.
It took a long time to get there.
February.
Kind of like my dick.
Yeah, it took him a long time to work up to R2D2.
Yeah, for the
Who
nerd that
said
he
that?
is.
I didn't say that.
You said C to the fourth power, yo. Come on, man. It's our first show. It's the first show of the night. Let's get it done.
February 10th, U.S. President Bush meets Canadian Prime Minister Brian Mulroney in Ottawa, laying the groundwork for the Acid Rain Treaty of 1991. And I got to tell you, it must have worked because I don't hear anything about acid rain.
I never hear about acid rain
I think
anymore.
we're good. I think whatever Bush did when he signed that piece of paper. What does a piece of paper sound like, Blake?
I'm not very good at Foley work, though.
Oh, you're not? I think it's all you do.
I'll tell you who was
He's
really
right.
upset about the acid rain thing, and that's Reptile from Mortal Kombat. Am I right?
I suppose so. He would spit acid.
Yeah. I just put that in there because Blake loves Mortal Kombat.
My dick spits acid.
February 14th, the Satanic Verses controversy. Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, supreme leader of Iran, issues a fatwa.
Wasn't it the Ayatollah Khomeini?
Yes, right, Khomeini. Issues a fatwa calling for the death of Indian-born British author Salman Rushdie and his publishers for issuing the novel The Satanic Verses. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
Terrorists get so butthurt about the stupidest stuff. Really?
Religion is everything to them. They let it guide, like, I don't know. I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, very much so.
Reading an ancient book and taking it word for word, it is literally their gospel, and then make their laws and their government rotate around that. To issue a fatwa, the lack of free speech.
Oh, sorry. I fatwad.
Did you just fatwa?
I fatwad.
There's only one Ayatollah that matters, and that's the Ayatollah of rock and roll, baby.
And who's that?
Chris Jericho.
Is that right? Y2J himself? I don't know about you guys, but I am safely and securely back in 1989. Lucas, why do we choose to watch Seinfeld? And I might ask you this again next week.
Yeah, is available to find. It's free. And this season, it went to air.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. That's exactly right.
We tried to trick you, but it didn't work. You're too good of a baggage boy.
I wonder
Yeah,
if
let's hope I'm as good next week.
Eli would not have gotten that right.
he would not have. Oh my God, gets a marble mouth. Where can you find the entire episode of Seinfeld to watch for yourself? Well, you can do so by subscribing to Couch Pilots and SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or log on to Hulu, and you know what to do. You know what to do tube.
Dudulio?
You know what to do.
You tried.
Studio.
You tried.
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, please.
Oh, got some issues there. Got some
Oh my gosh.
sound issues. Sorry.
There's DSJ.
Looking good. He's happy. I mean,
He's looking toned.
for a guy with Down syndrome, he was looking very buff. He must have been doing a lot of working out at Planet Fitness for $5 a month.
Incredible deal.
Why is it called Down syndrome when they very rarely look down? I mean, they're usually
That's
hap-
always been my
happy
argument.
people.
Yeah.
I've always said that.
You know
Shouldn't
what?
it be up syndrome?
That's what I said.
I want to know how Planet Fitness can stay in business only charging people $5 a month.
I think it's $10 a month. And
But still.
this is how, because so many people think it's such an incredible deal that they all sign up, and then hardly anyone goes, and they just keep getting money from it.
Okay.
So I bet out of the 100% of people that give them the money, I bet like 30% shows up.
Makes sense.
That was me with my gym membership at Fitness America. I went like 3 times. I paid for like 6 months.
I went over. I called them up and I said, "Hey, Planet Fitness, I want to cancel my thing." And they said, "You got to come down here." And at that point, you're just like, "I don't want to come down there." So people put it off, and so they don't go down. I did go down very quickly after that, but I imagine most people, if they have to go there, they just
Why do you have
gotta
to
say-
go there?
I don't know.
Did Danielle Thornton still work there?
Oh, that was Fitness America, right?
Yeah.
I haven't been to that place for a while. I don't know. I didn't know her very well. Did you ever talk to Anthony?
No, I didn't work with him.
Okay.
We tried to call him one night on 3rd shift, and he wouldn't pick up. It's like when Blake calls people on the show.
Yeah. Interesting facts.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Interesting Facts. This segment of the show, Jason scours the internet to easily find facts about Seinfeld that you probably already know. But they were on one website. I found 25. He probably found 47. I'm only going to let him read 10. Don't taint someone else's experience by giving your opinion on these facts. Just accept them.
You don't know what hard times are, Daddy.
I don't know why it's all sudden low on that. There must be a yin and a yang mess up.
I did it. I just busted it back up here. Let's listen to this.
You don't know what hard times are, Daddy.
Much better.
Okay.
Muchos betteros.
The Seinfeld Chronicles, also known as Good News, Bad News, or Pilot, is the pilot episode of the American sitcom Seinfeld, which first aired on NBC on July 5th, 1989.
Fact.
Yeah.
Just because we both knew it and we're talking at the same time doesn't change it.
Correct.
Very good job, Lucas.
Way to go. Julia Louis-Dreyfus did not appear in this pilot episode. In fact, she was unaware that the pilot episode existed
Until 2004.
when it was released as part of the DVD box set. Fact.
Did you give me the steak eye?
I just can't believe you,
You
know
just
this.
gave me the steak eye.
I can't believe you knew it. I didn't give you a stink eye.
Show me your stink eye so I can see the difference. Okay, you didn't give me.
Yeah, apologize. In this episode for Seinfeld, Kramer's name was Kessler. The name is spoken only a single time in the episode, and it's very easy to miss. When Jerry says it quickly during the late-night Mets game viewing, the audience laughter partly drowns it out. This discrepancy was the basis of a joke in episode in the season 9, episode 8 season for Seinfeld, The Betrayal, where there is a flashback to when Jerry and Kramer first meet. When introducing himself to Kramer, Jerry says, "I saw your name on the board downstairs. Kessler, right?" To which Kramer responds, "Actually, it's Kramer."
And there was also this character was based on a person that Larry David knew, and he tried to sue for the Kramer situation.
We're going deep now. Okay, so the fella that actually was based off of had tours in a double-decker bus in New York City.
New York City.
Get a rope.
Oh, you should have said get a bus. That
Get
would be fun.
a double-decker.
And his name is Kevin Kramer.
Yeah,
He would take people around the city and show them Seinfeld hotspots.
it's been going for like 23 years.
It might still be going. I really don't know. Lee Garlington was originally supposed to be a member of the cast as Claire, the coffee shop waitress who gave Jerry and George friendly advice. But when the show was picked up, her character was dropped. Fact.
Yes, fact.
In early versions of the script, George was originally written as a fellow stand-up comedian named Bennett. Fact. After the series was picked up in 1990, all subsequent airings of this 1989 pilot included the familiar Seinfeld title/opening, and the theme music was opposed to the original The Seinfeld Chronicles music and title theme, which was completely different. Both versions of the episode are available on the Season 1 and 2 DVD set and syndicated reruns. This episode is titled Good News, Bad News. Fact.
Fact. I mean, can't change it.
Let's see here. Although he had already had his characteristic receding hairline, Jason Alexander, who played George, was only 29 when this episode aired. Fact.
He looked older.
He did look older.
What? I just got you. You.
You got me what?
I got you.
What do you mean you got me?
You gave your opinion on a fact. Lucas, I got him. Did I not get him? You are so burned.
What do you want to do with that information? So what?
You lose 5 points.
Come on.
No, you're losing 5 points.
You know my daughter's birthday's coming up. I need those points.
No, I'm sorry, but for all the shit you've given me for messing up,
I'd love to give you shit.
you lose 5 points. I'm sorry, you lose 5 points.
Can I go on with interesting facts?
I'm
or
taking
not?
5 points off my score.
Can I give you more interesting facts or not?
Just one.
All right, let's find a good one.
Lucas, I got him.
Oh, here's a
I
good
got
one.
him, Lucas. I got him.
All right, good job.
God, he's depressed. Now he knows how we feel every day.
Right.
Can you marry?
I hope he cuts himself too while jerking off.
Can I marry depression?
Yeah. I mean,
Depression spoken for, thank you very much.
This episode was
Go try to
watched,
fuck with some guy's depression.
This episode was watched by nearly 11% of American households and received generally favorable reviews from critics who reacted with disappointment that NBC did not order a first season. Convinced that the show had potential and supported by the positive reviews, NBC executive Rick Ludwin managed to convince his superiors to order a 4-episode first season, the shortest in television history, by offering a part of his personal budget in return. Did you just turn me up? Is it fucking with it? Is it not good?
It was a little low, but
Well, interesting.
now
fact.
that you've talked about it, yeah. I mean,
Okay,
it's
well,
canon now.
We'll do one more. This episode was broadcast almost a year before the first proper episode of the series, July 5th, 1989, and then May 31st, 1990. Fact, interesting facts over.
Whew.
Twitter responses. Hold on a second. Oh, God.
Twitter responses.
Thank you.
Twitter responses. Wondering if Jason got some Twitter responses.
I definitely did not.
You're damn right you didn't, because you're a 5-point loser.
Well, you wouldn't have from Jerry Seinfeld because he's a dick.
Good Lord. The hate is thick.
This is a theme to Jerry, so the theme to Jerry is so Jerry sucks big ass and the so is really stupid. They're gonna play some bass. They're gonna talk about nothing. Guess what? You're watching the Jerry Springer Show.
Time for the aviation question of the week. We'll start with you, Lucas. How high plane fly?
37,000 feet.
Okay, Blake.
You know what? That's a good guess, Lucas, and I'm proud of you. It was really close, but it's 14 feet.
Yeah, he's exactly right. Let's take 10 minutes here and break down the pilot episode of Seinfeld, or Good News, Bad News, or the Seinfeld Chronicles, or Pilot, as it were.
A dingo ate your baby.
Fair enough.
All right. Yeah. So there's a stand-up clip, and that's the beginning. This is where Jerry's on stage, probably at Caroline's or.
I think it's a set. I think it's a tiny little set. It's just a dark curtain. I think it's a tiny little set that they had in L.A.
Here we go.
Yeah. You know what? Here we go.
This is where Jason starts to Seinfeld me.
You know what? Next week, if you want to talk dominantly about Atypical during the plot section of the show, you go right ahead. But Jerry's doing stand-up a bit about going out, being out. Right now, you guys are out. You guys are out. We're out. This is what we're doing. When people say we're out, this is what it is.
Are you gonna do a Seinfeld imitation? When
No, I'll do it later, I think.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
They're at a diner. It's Pete's Luncheon, which would later become Monk's. And Jerry and George having a mundane discussion about shirt button placement, which ultimately would be the final discussion the two of those have in the last episode of the series.
I should have interrupted you because I knew that.
The waitress then
Claire.
said something about caffeine and decaf. And
I loved her.
Did you?
Yeah,
Lee Garlington.
Not the actress. I love that sassy, little witty
Redhead.
comeback, fucking with George.
The kiss my grits situation.
Yeah. But it's like the New York version of Flo from Alice, which we watched the pilot episode of Alice.
No, we didn't.
Oh shit. Fuck.
Jerry plays a version of himself, a stand-up comedian, and he's talking to George about a woman coming to town who may be able to hang out with him, someone he met at one of his nightclub gigs.
In Michigan. Her name is Laura.
Oops.
Whoa, you okay? Are you okay?
Ow, ouch.
How's your eye?
This is more of a sweet and innocent Jerry that we see in later shows. He's very kind of like smitten with this lady, and he talks very, like innocently about her.
Wholesome,
Yes,
for sure.
They get the waitress involved on whether or not this lady has any intention of actually seeing Jerry while in town, because George is taking what Jerry has said, what the woman has said, and really breaking it down and analyzing it and looking for signals and keywords to translate.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say that's 100% my buddy Andy and I. That is us with each other, analyzing every little, well, what did she say? How did she say it? Tell me exactly what she said. That is so relatable to Andy and I. And he calls himself George Costanza.
Is he balding?
No, he has a great head of hair.
Is he 29?
No.
Has he never been on another successful TV show?
He's never been on another successful TV show.
So it's not George Costanza then. Okay. So then they're at the laundromat, right?
Yep.
Because they live in New York City.
New York City, get her up.
And so they're at the laundromat, and George is the typical George, just high strung. Everything is the highest intensity ever.
Yeah, he cranks up the drama quite a bit. The discussion,
Like your mama?
George continues the discussion of drama, just like my mama. That's right. Thank you. So the discussion about Laura, this lady coming to town, continues. And George, again, picks apart the conversation Jerry had with her, and he's telling him all the signals that he's missed.
Sure.
I like what they did here with the background characters. The people paying attention, eavesdropping on the conversation.
But not saying anything.
Right.
Or, like, reacting. You can tell they're paying attention, but they're not overly into it.
Right, and it's so rare for the background characters in shows
to be interacting.
So it's more realistic. 'Cause that's what you would get inside a laundromat. You would get
so many times in a sitcom, if there are like background players or extras, like the cast is so loudly projecting, it's ridiculous to think that the people around them can't hear what they're saying.
Right.
So
kind of like at Friends when they're at the coffee shop.
Exactly.
Right.
All those people don't even turn around.
The only one who sees or anything does anything is Gunther.
Yeah, Gunther. And so they're discussing also the thing that you can't over dry.
Yeah, they said once something's wet, it's wet, but you can't over dry. And so George is like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I didn't want to be here to begin with. So George he interrupts the cycle to get Jerry out of there quicker. Back to some more comedy interstitials that Jerry does. He's doing a bit about laundry, so we're seeing a flow here, right? He does a bit about the thing we just saw, or a bit about the thing we're just going to see, and he's talking about how the clothes are like sentient, and they're wanting to escape, and they're having fun. And then we go back to Jerry's apartment. It's the first time we see it. It looks very similar to how it would be going forward. There are some little tweaks,
like the cabinets are different.
The cabinets probably. I think that changed over the course of the series.
The Mets poster,
maybe.
there's no Superman, right?
Right. There's a window area that we see later that's not there, like kind of like almost a little alcove, which is just a regular window going forward. And the bathroom is moved up, and it's not a hallway where it goes to his bedroom. So there are little differences in his apartment layout.
Yeah, and at the time of this is like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning when he's there.
He's taped a Mets game. He gets home, and he doesn't want to know what happened during the Mets game. He's avoided people.
He answers the phone,
Yeah.
which is sitting on his coffee table, and he's like, I taped the Mets game, don't give me the answer. Who is this?
Yeah. And then Kessler comes in, Michael Richards, and is Kramer, but his name Kessler. He comes in and he immediately ruins. He's like, "Oh, the Mets really blew it tonight," and Jerry's like devastated.
And then Kramer's like, "Got any meat?"
And he really gets into the fridge.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, like his whole body is like half of his body's in the fridge.
And I love the subtle thing of pulling the bread out of the robe.
Like he already had it ready to go.
Yeah, that sets up exactly who this guy is.
Say whatever you will about Michael Richards, but I really do believe that Jerry Seinfeld loves Michael Richards more than probably anyone else in that cast of that show. He loves him, and Michael Richards really is a great physical comedic actor. Sure. He really is.
And he noticeably has a heavy 5 o'clock shadow that you don't see in the rest of the series.
He's also dressed like they strongly allude to like him being almost like a recluse or some sort of hermit.
To where Jerry says something about you haven't left your apartment in
10 years or whatever.
Yeah. And he's wearing a robe and he looks downtrodden and unkept. But you're right. Going forward, he's more of a vintage clothes kind of guy. He really gets out in the world and it gets involved in weird stuff. But here he seems like he's just confined to his apartment in this building. Anyway, he's ripping Jerry's magazine apart, and he's like, "I'm not done with that. What are you doing?"
Wiping his mouth with the page.
Was he wiping his mouth with the page, or was he going to stick it back?
He was using it as adhesive to reattach it, I think is what he was doing.
And to me, that stands out because Jerry Seinfeld's a germaphobe.
Which I don't think was really, there wasn't a fine point put on it, but going forward, there absolutely is.
So, yeah, I thought about that. I was like, how much did that gross him out in real life?
Yeah. Well, as Jerry and Kramer talk, Jerry reveals that he doesn't believe that Laura's coming, and then she calls. And not only does she call, but she asks to be picked up from the airport and asks if she can stay with him.
And she's calling him at 1:30 in the morning.
See, you say that earlier, but I didn't really get that. It was that late. Because he did make reference like, "Oh, I'm always up at this hour," but I didn't know what time it was.
No,
okay.
Yeah, because if the baseball game's already over, I mean, they're going to end at 11 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
Next scene, George and Jerry are bringing a mattress into his apartment. And this, I don't know if you guys caught this, but this may be the best joke of the show. George says, I can't believe you're bringing a second mattress into your apartment for someone that wants to sleep with you. Why don't you bring another guy in here, too?
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
Anyway, George is wearing a bowling shirt. Did you notice this?
No, I wrote, high five that shit. I said, George is wearing a bowling shirt.
I only wrote that down because of you. George is again breaking down what Laura said to him. This time the other way. Before it was like, absolutely, she's not coming over. This time it's kind of like, she wants to stay here. You have this mattress. You're picking it up from the airport. Yes, this is good. This is all good stuff.
It's like he's already got his mind made up, so he's only going to focus on the points that prove what he's thinking.
Sure. Kind of like Jason does.
Yeah, kind of like me. What? Kramer shows up with a dog, which is the only time he ever has a dog in the whole series.
It just comes in the house. It comes in the house, and everybody's cool about it. And it runs into the bathroom. Everybody's cool about it, and then all of a sudden you don't hear it or nothing, and then it runs out, and it's just everybody's cool with it.
They don't give the dog a name. They don't even really.
They don't even give the dog a bone.
They don't give the dog a bone. They don't even really reference that it belongs to Kramer, but it just comes in with them, so you assume as much.
It's a golden retriever, by the way.
And he runs into the bathroom, and I think it's Kramer's the one who said, "Oh, he's just getting a drink."
Yeah,
and then they all kind of go back to what they're doing.
Jerry goes in there to kind of clean up the place to get it ready for her, and Kramer and George kind of have a talk about real estate, but real uncomfortably, almost like Jerry's friends with George, and then Jerry's got this neighbor Kramer, and almost never the twain shall meet.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
So there's more stand-up, and this is about
What's
women.
the deal with cotton balls?
I've never used a cotton ball in my life.
Where do they come from? Where do they go?
Every time I see one, after a woman's done with it, it looks like they've been through some horrible experience.
You can't buy 2 or 3. You got to buy 47,000.
Now
Get in my car. It's a 1946 Coupe de Ville from France.
At the airport, Jerry's there with George waiting on Laura, and they talk about reading the signals. I do have to say one more thing here. While they're discussing different ways that she may greet him and how he should interpret that, she sneaks up behind him, grabs him, and Jerry's like, how do I read this? And George is like, he has no idea.
Right.
That was really funny, too.
That wasn't in the manual.
Right. Of all the things we talked about, we didn't hit on this way. And it was kind of like how would you describe it? Like, if you take both your hands...
Feats of strength. Feats of strength in a wrestling match. Like they're trying to...
Okay. Good answer. Good answer.
Oh, thank you. No whammies, please. Back at Jerry's apartment, the signals are coming fast and furious from Laura. She's making herself comfortable. She turns on the light. She's asked for wine. She asks if she can stay an extra night. They make plans together.
A 5-hour boat ride.
This lady is hurting for it. That's if I'm that guy, I'm like, oh, this is like a fucking slam dunk, right?
Sure.
But that's not the case at all, because then a phone calls for her. And
it's for her.
Yeah.
Calls Jerry Seinfeld's phone is for her.
And after the conversation, what does she say?
She's engaged.
She says, never get engaged. And Jerry's like, he's instantly deflated, rightfully so. More stand-up. I can't read women. The end. Turbulence.
Please remain seated as we are now crossing a zone of turbulence.
Boy, are we ever.
You say that, but this trumps any show that you've brought to the table or ever will. This is the pinnacle of sitcoms. This is the most popular sitcom of all time.
It's not my turn for turbulence. So
Okay. Please have it be your turn. We always say, what's wrong with this? Why didn't it work? But this did work. And I would ask you, why did it work? But you're not going to give me the answer because you hate this.
But I don't know why it worked. This pilot, there's no point to it. There's no arc. There's no storyline. It's random banter.
It is the show about nothing,
which they did not even.
Everyone's doing something. Let's do nothing.
They didn't even coin that themselves. Somebody on the internet coined that.
Did they?
Yes, I'll get to the website. Jerry Seinfeld even admits that they never came up with that. People came up with that and called it that.
I'll tell you who came
because
up
it's
with
a fucking about nothing.
I'll tell you who came up with it. It was Boomhauer from King of the Hill.
It had to have been done early on, though, because when they, in the show, I think it's about season 3 or 4, Jerry is approached by NBC in the show. It's a very meta situation where they say, hey, you're a stand-up comedian. Would you work with us to develop a show? And he says, George, will you help me write this? So the two of them, over the course of season 3 or 4, are preparing to create a pilot with NBC to hopefully have a successful sitcom. And when they're talking about it and pitching about it, they're saying it's about nothing.
It had already happened.
So-
somebody had already,
Okay, so they didn't come up with that,
No.
and before season 3 or 4, someone had already put that out there.
right.
Okay.
So they were making a joke about it. But
Was the internet prevalent by that point?
Absolutely not.
1992.
no, but
No.
I will go find the page and I will
Okay,
send it to you
I
tomorrow.
believe you. I believe you.
But it was just a comment that somebody made, and then they
Right.
kind of picked up on
Sure,
it and ran.
right.
Like a review or a critic or
Sure.
something.
But there is no continuous storyline.
Throughout the run of the show, there are some arcs, but largely it is a situation where people are involved with little social etiquettes or taboos that they're, and it's these four
they
characters.
just heighten it. They just heighten it to
They
an
crank
extreme.
it up until they all ram into each other and end up fucking each other. Not sexually.
Not figuratively.
Yeah, literally. So why don't you think this worked, though?
Well, I also think that there was too much stand-up in this pilot episode. There's not as much going forward. There is like at the beginning,
And I think at the beginning and the end, I think they kind of do.
but it's very small snippets. This has a lot of stand-up in it. There's no way that he could come up with that much material, to do stand-up on the show, and then go out and do stand-up as a touring comic. There's no way he could keep up with it.
Yeah, maybe so.
And it's fucking stupid.
Oh, is that okay?
George Costanza, in my opinion, is the most fucking annoying television character ever.
Really?
I cannot stand him.
Can't stand you?
That's
I
a pretty
can't
hot
stand
take.
Costanza.
Can't stand you.
Seriously, everything is blown out of proportion. Everything's this huge deal. Everything's this panic mode, and it just.
You know who that's based off of, though, right?
Who?
Who George is based off of?
Yeah. No, Larry David.
Well, yeah, when NBC approached Jerry originally in real life to do this, they partnered him with Larry David,
Yeah.
who was another New York comedian.
He's neurotic.
He didn't really have a lot of success as a comedian, and he even wrote for 1 year on Saturday Night Live. And I don't think Larry David had one sketch that ended up on the show.
No, he
was this guy that was circulating the area, and they partnered him with Jerry, and together they created this show about nothing, and took a lot of Jerry's personal experiences and a lot of Larry David's personal experiences, and they put those into the show. And as it went on, the writers would contribute personal experiences. They wanted these real life interactions that they could tweak or crank up to 10 as far as the social etiquette goes.
And to me, that's why it does work, because it's, like I said, George is relatable to my buddy and I on the topic of when we're talking about trying to figure out what women are thinking. Everybody knows, maybe not to the level that Kramer becomes in the show, but everybody knows that kind of like crazy person.
Right.
I think they're taking everyday things, finding the humor in them, focusing on that. And it was different than what was going on at the time. I don't remember. I tried to look it up to see if there had been a sitcom yet that had based on a stand-up comedian. Not a stand-up comedian playing the role, but actually the main character being a stand-up comedian in the show.
Yeah.
I ain't come up with anything. And so I think it's bringing that stage show to life. And you saw that later with stand-up comedians that got their own shows moving forward. They took their act, they made TV shows. I think this was the forerunner of using
You're
that
right.
act.
You're right. I don't think there were a lot of shows about people who were actually stand-up comedians. But the whole 70s and 80s, Johnny Carson was the king. You go on that show, you kill, Johnny calls you over, your phone is ringing off the hook next day with offers. Freddie Prinze is a good example. He's a very young man who killed, and he was on Chico and the Man. Tragically died at a young age, but these people would, as stand-up comedians, would find their way onto a program. But none had done it like this before.
Right.
None had made a show about nothing and focused on the life of a stand-up comedian. In that, it is very unique and original in that manner.
And moving forward, you started seeing in some sitcoms, it would start to say based on the stand-up comedy of whomever.
Yeah, this
I
probably
think
started.
Tim Allen or Tim Allen.
Yeah, that's probably a really good example. Yeah, he wasn't playing a stand-up comedian, but a lot of his humor and his act, they probably said, what's your act about? How can we translate that into a show?
Right.
You're a family man who likes power tools and makes grunting noises? We'll run for 9 seasons and make you the richest fucking man on the planet.
Right.
Yeah. Anything you'd like to add, Blake?
No, I'm fine.
Was Jason Alexander the biggest name on the show for the pilot?
Boy, I can't think of anything he was in before except maybe some McDonald's McBLT commercials or something.
I looked him up because he had top billing.
Okay. I would almost say Julia Louis-Dreyfus or Michael Richards, because Michael Richards was on Fridays, which was a kind of a counterpoint to Saturday Night Live. It was a live sketch comedy show.
Well, just for the pilot, I mean, Julia wasn't in the pilot.
Oh, that's true. You're right.
But if you look at the...
But he was he was on Broadway and stuff.
He was
I don't
in a
think
bunch
people
of,
would know that, but you're right. Like he has a lot of theater.
He was in
experience.
early ER episodes.
But that's after this, though. That's like started in 94.
Before.
ER?
Yeah.
ER started like 94, though.
Oh, well, maybe I missed it. But he was in movies and TV shows and stuff before this. But if when they have the opening credits where they have like Jerry Seinfeld listed, Michael Richards, he has top billing Jason Alexander as George Costanza. And usually that's put in their contract where if they have an agent that asks for that.
Maybe he had enough guest starring roles and other things that he got that. I don't know. I didn't read anything about that. But that's a good point.
Because Jerry was just a stand-up comedian. I hadn't been in anything yet.
But he had gained enough notoriety from being on the Tonight Show. He had gained a lot there. Yeah.
But yeah, I was just curious of who are people going to tune in to see.
Who's number one on the call sheet, kind of
to
thing.
make this.
But you know they threw it on July 5th. I'm just winding down from some awesome fireworks I saw last night. We know that the summer is a graveyard for failed pilots.
And then the series didn't get picked up for like a year and a half, 2 years, and then it's only 4 episodes that got picked up for originally. So
this, by all accounts, is a failed pilot. This might be the exception of the entire season that we're doing in saying that this Seinfeld pilot had failed, and because the people clamored for it, and because one guy at NBC said, I am vouching for this, and I'm putting my personal money up for this, that got that going again.
It's actually the exact opposite of what The Simpsons was. The Simpsons pilot was originally just intended to be a holiday special.
I think it was episode number 8 in that season.
And they got so much feedback of people wanted more that they kept it going.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that was not initially the pilot, the holiday special. That was episode 8 that they moved up because people wanted it. Yep. Okay, let's begin our final descent. We'll make this one quick.
Ladies and gentlemen,
gotta work on the
as we
speakers
start
in the
our descent,
cockpit.
Please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full
Please
upright
do.
position.
You all right?
I got residual sickness. I've had it for a few weeks now. I'm probably dying. I want you to have this glass when I'm gone. Okay.
Okay, it's from Texas.
Mm-hmm. All my exes. Rotten Tomatoes score. This series had a 72% for season 1, and this is another show that, as the series went on, I think there's like 4 seasons in a row that Seinfeld sits at 100% with the critics. 85% for this season of the Seinfeld. The pilot, Blake, do you want to take a stab at what the people from around the world rated the Seinfeld pilot?
On IMDb?
Right.
Probably like a 7.6, I think.
What do you get out of this? What do you get out of cheating?
I'm not cheating. I'm just guessing.
But say you did cheat. What would you get out of it?
Say you.
Say me.
Say it always naturally. I'm not cheating anything. I do my own research.
What are you looking at? What did you just look down
Whatever I write down on my piece of paper. There is a lot of stuff written here. There's highlights. There's different colors. There's doodles. I mean, whatever I write is what I write because I'm doing research.
I like the doodles.
By the way,
You like the doodle bops?
The ER that he was in was not the...
Was it General Hospital?
No, it was ER, but it was just a 1-season comedy show called ER.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Not the same thing. That was 1984 to 1985.
So he'd been on other stuff. So
Viewer reviews. We'll do a couple quick headlines here. Quite the stage setter. Not great by the show standards, but still one hell of a pilot. Funny, but most interesting to see the early stages. Surprisingly good. A very good first episode. Let the fun begin. I'm a bit confused here. You're engaged? Hilarious, but surprisingly poor start to television's greatest show. Let the fun begin. And that's the end of that story. That wasn't in the manual. Distinctly the first episode. Educational and relatable. And first Seinfeld experience, somewhat solid. That's just what people had to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FCF.
Let's see what we had to say here.
Local time is 11:11, and the temperature is 69 degrees. For your safety and comfort, please.
Is this the part where we talk over the buffers?
Yeah, that's right. We're doing it now. Yeah. We're doing it as we say it.
What was educational about this show?
There was nothing educational that I could surmise from it. I think that was a false IMDb review, and I will submit a request to have that terminated.
I would, yeah. I'm going to send them a strongly worded email.
Now we score. We've done everything. Nothing else possible could be done. 1 out of 7 is the grading scale. Is that right, Blake?
Yes. It's based off the characters of Wings, one of the greatest television shows they ever made. Number 1 is a Roy Biggins.
That's the worst score you're going to get.
And number 7 is the best you can get, a Brian Hackett.
That's right. Lucas, thank you for being our guest today. We turn to you. How do you rate the pilot episode of Seinfeld?
I don't have any problem with the show. I don't have any problem with this episode. My stuff about Jerry Seinfeld aside, I think this is a solid 5. I can understand where there's one group of people that wouldn't necessarily like it. It's not their thing. I can understand that there would be a large number of people that would like it. I said at the top of the show, my grandma would actually laugh at this, and I very rarely saw her laugh at TV shows. And it surprised me that she found it funny. But at the same time, it didn't. It's something I've seen many, many times. So solid 5, yeah.
Okay. Captain Philip Ressisher, I turn to you.
I have dreaded this pilot since we had our draft. I don't think Jerry Seinfeld is funny at all. I think George Costanza is the most annoying person I've ever seen on television. I love you, Jason. I respect you. To me, you are inspiration in regards to comedy. So I'm giving it a bump. It's called a Jason bump. This has never happened before. I'm going to give it a Jason bump. I'm giving it a 2. This was not funny.
That's
not too bad because he said he was going to take 5 away, so it started out as a 7.
It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. All of it. Everything. It's all bullshit.
What do you mean it's bullshit? You have your opinions. I have my opinions.
Okay.
I doubt you like my pilot next week.
Yeah, well, we have yet to record that, so you'll have to wait and see what I think about it.
I'm not trying to do a bit here. I don't think Jerry Seinfeld is funny. I never thought Seinfeld was funny show. I just maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I'm not smart enough for it. Maybe that and you're fine if you say that. That's fine.
I would never say that. We've seen so many half-hour sitcom pilots, so many little comedies that are just. It's a weird premise, like, hey, my family bought a circus, or hey, I'm not an FBI agent anymore, and we're supposed to hang our hats on these fucking ridiculous premises. This is taking a very realistic premise in mining comedy from the everyday observations and interactions people have with each other, and that is a direct correlation from his stand-up comedy, which I find to be funny. It's very rare that you can have a man like Jerry Seinfeld or like a Brian Regan who can deliver such poignant and funny, intelligent comedy in a clean manner. Nary do you hear Jerry Seinfeld curse. On occasion he will, but very rarely does he do it. It's intelligent comedy. I think it's a little absurd at times. Wildly well written. It has a lot to do with Larry David. I love Seinfeld. This is not the best example of a Seinfeld show, but it is a good starting off point to say that we don't have a gimmick. It's a show about silliness, about everyday interactions, whether it's at a laundromat or in a diner. There's no gimmick. There's no gimmicks. So many shows have to come to the table with a fucking gimmick. They don't have that. They're saying let our intelligence of the writing be the proof in the pudding, and it did for 9 seasons. And it probably could have gone another 3, but they said let's go out on top, and they did.
Jerry Seinfeld actually turned down $5 million an episode for season 10.
No way.
That's 110.
No way.
I read it. $110 million.
$5 million an episode.
He turned down $110 million.
Whatever he did it right, because he is a billionaire. He is one of the richest actors in the country, and just aside from comedians or just actors in general, he is.
Is he actually an actor? Like,
he's acted in some things, not many, but I mean, he was an actor in that show. He was playing a version of himself, and I think he had a portion of the show, so he's got like $1 billion.
Sure. On some level, you can appreciate the success he's had, because I'm with Blake. I don't find his stand-up funny. So the fact that there are so many people who'd probably agree that his stand-up's not the best, he still had a really successful career.
Well, this is what I say about his stand-up. He loves it. He loves stand-up. There are people that will do it out there, and they see it as a formula or an algorithm that it's like a mathematical equation to them where they can plug it in. Jerry loves being a stand-up comedian. He wants to do that more than anything, and having such a successful show has given him the vehicle to sell out theaters weekly. You know, this is a man who really loves his craft and has honed it, and I think he's very good at it. The way he words things, it's no accent. He's not fumbling around up there. He goes up there, and he's down to business, and he knows exactly what he wants to do, and he does it almost perfectly, if you ask me. I think he's not my favorite comedian, but I do think he's excellent, and the show reflects a lot of that. Not the best pilot, far from the worst. I agree with Lucas. I give it a 5, and with your 5 and my 5 and your 2, what a slap in the face. We close the book on Seinfeld, and we will never mention that show again.
Hey, ever.
But join us next time, won't you please, when we watch the pilot episode of Atypical. Here's a little something to whet your whistle. Sam, an 18-year-old on the autism spectrum, decides it's time to find a girlfriend, a journey that sets Sam's mom on her own life-changing path as her son seeks more independence. You can find the entire episode of Atypical by subscribing to Couch Pilots on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or click on the Netflix and pour yourself some Chex Mix. God, it's awful. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, guys.
How about
I'm open to suggestions, please.
do the line before you say Netflix,
or click on the Netflix and
fuck that bitch.
Yeah, that's fine. That's way better than what I had. How do you contact the show?
You can go to couchpilotspodcast.com. That has all the links. Actually, to be honest with you, going to Spotify and going to couchpilotspodcast.com, there's where you can find all the episodes. You cannot find all the episodes on iTunes anymore. If you're a new listener, go to Spotify or go to our website and check out all the old episodes.
They are available. They're out there for free. You just got to know the right place to find them. And you go all the way back. I think we started at the towards the end of 2015. So we're talking, about 5 years worth of content here.
We've sacrificed a lot of time.
I've lost a lot of people in my life, a lot of friends, a lot of romantic relationships, all gone to the wayside for this.
Sure. So, a lot of hair on your chest too.
Yeah, all my hair. I'm virtually hairless now.
So much easier, isn't it?
I'm so much more aerodynamic. 910 Pilots 1 910-745-6871. Give us a call. Leave us a voicemail. We'll play your voicemail right here on the show. We'll pick it apart, just like George Costanza did.
Just like Down syndrome jobber did.
Yep, he's such a jobber. Mm-hmm. I really think this whole thing. I mean, he thought we were gonna cave and he was gonna get riches. He thought he was gonna be Darkwing Duck and just jump into that pool of gold.
That's the same scenario I was going to use. What a great metaphor that was.
And what name is he? Was he going by Juan Milano?
No, John Malnati. That's his Christian name.
Juan Melnado. It's the coffee guy. Oh, that's Juan Valdez. Never mind.
It is Juan Valdez. Lucas, thank you for being on the show. Is there anything that you'd like to plug?
Yeah, but I can't say those things on air.
That'll be fine. That'll be fine.
No, I always appreciate being on. Hanging out
It's
with you
silly.
guys.
We have a silly time, don't we?
We do.
Captain Philip, rest assured. Do you have a message of positivity for the folks today? It's okay to say no, too.
We're in 2020, all right? We finished up the first month. Get your bearings underneath you. If you're like, oh, this is just like 2019, my life sucks. It doesn't. Only you can make a difference. You're only in the first month. Don't waste the next 11 months. Do something with yourself. Do something to make yourself happy. Do something to make somebody else happy. And please tell friends about this podcast.
Yeah. And if your resolution for this year is to have more friends, then do that and then tell them about the podcast.
Sure.
In that order, if you have to.
Wow, great job.
Oh, thank you. And also with you. Well, this pilot was the start of a very successful series. And it's always a smooth flight here on Couch Pilots, everyone. Thanks, everybody. And we
Hey,
will see you next
Cal, your
time.
pilots are done.
Oh, I forgot. Hold on a second.
On behalf of our pilots and the entire
Hold on.
crew,
Don't stop it yet.
thank you